Mr. President, just out of curiosity, what made you do all of this?
The Watergate scandal, as it's come to be known today, has its roots in Nixon's political defeats during the presidential election of 1960 and the California gubernatorial election of 1962. These losses were a major source of frustration for Nixon.
Mr. President, I've heard a bunch of different things about this scandal, and I just want to hear from the source. How did it all happen? With all of this stress, Nixon became immensely paranoid of political defeats. In his first term as president, the paranoia did not subside. As the election of 1972 approached, Nixon wanted to do anything in his power to ensure himself a second term. Although Nixon was predicted to win the election in a landslide, he still felt the need to investigate the campaign plans of the Democrats. Stemming from Nixon's paranoia, Attorney General John Mitchell proposed a committee, otherwise known as CREEP, to re-elect Nixon. Nixon's top advisors, Bob Haldeman and John Ehrlichman, were essential in organizing CREEP and planning the initial wiretapping at the Watergate Hotel.
I don't care if I'm going to win in a landslide. I need to know what the Democrats are thinking.
You know, Mr. President, your Attorney General, Mr. John Mitchell, had a great idea to form a committee to help re-elect you.
Alright, I like that idea. Go tell Mitchell to do that right away.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. President, I was informed the Democrats are going to be staying at the Watergate Hotel at the Republican Convention. I just want to let you know in case you had anything planned.
The Watergate. Okay. Alright, John Bob, can I trust you?
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Don't tell anyone about this. I want you to get a team, 5 people, okay? Break into the Watergate Hotel, plant recording devices. I need to know what the Democrats are thinking, okay?
One of the first main objectives of the CREEP was to gather information about the Democratic presidential campaign. In 1972, the Democratic National Convention, also known as the DNC, was being held at the Watergate Hotel. Originally, the 5 burglars planted numerous recording devices in the DNC in order to spy on the Democrats. To replace several faulty devices, the burglars went back to the Watergate and were ultimately apprehended at the hotel.
After the 5 burglars were caught, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, 2 reporters from the Washington Post, began looking into the case. Although the government investigation of the break-in was limited, the 2 reporters uncovered the White House involvement in the break-in and implicated numerous members of Nixon's administration. The key to their success was a secret informant who went by the alias Deep Throat. His real name was W. Mark Felt, and he was a former FBI agent who had been passed over for promotion by Nixon. It was for this reason that he wanted to help the 2 reporters.
You let Haldeman get away. I didn't realize that was possible. In a scandal like this, you gotta start on the outside and figure out the small stuff first. We pushed back the investigation for months.
I know. If Bernstein and I were wrong, we will resign. Were we wrong? I need you to tell me that.
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I'm tired of your bullshit, Deep Throat. I don't want any more hints. I need to know what you know.
When a member of Nixon's administration revealed the existence of tape recordings of every conversation that Nixon and his advisors had between 1971 and 1973, Congress immediately wanted access to them.
The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not Mr. Nixon is obligated to hand over the White House tapes. Mr. Nixon, what do you have to say to defend yourself?
Well, as president, I have the executive order to deem something threatening to the security of the American people. And I can withhold information if I want to.
Mr. Nixon, despite what you said, the ruling of this court is that you're obligated to hand over the White House tapes.
John Bob, I don't know what to do. Congress knows too much.
Mr. President, you released the tapes. Congress has them. I think they're calling for grounds for impeachment. I don't see there any way of you winning the trial, to be totally honest with you.
I hate to say it, Mr. President, I think you have to resign.